All right. Sure. Good evening. I'm going to call to order tonight's City Council meeting for Monday, April 28th, 2025 for the City of Brookings. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councillor Malmberg.
Here.
Councillor Freda.
Here.
Councillor Martin.
Here.
Councillor Fulton.
Here.
Mayor Hodges.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Moving right along, next is communications from the audience. A little script here first. This is the time for public comment. If you have turned in a public comment form to the city recorder, you can talk. The comments are limited to 5 minutes. This is not the time for discussion. Council is not able to provide an immediate answer or response. The city manager may direct staff to follow up with you regarding your comment or questions if provided with contact information on the form. Before you make your comment, please state your name and address for the record. So, making that clear, we'll move right into public comment. And the first one is Ken Cunningham.
Good evening. My name is Ken Cunningham. I live at 98650 North Bank, Checkle River Road. And I'm here concerning all the issues that have gone on in Social Security Board. We've been in front of the city council here in the past. We've been in front of the commissioners. We've talked to our representatives. And I got a few answers to a lot of my questions before this meeting started. And it sounds like the police chief and our state troopers are stepping up law enforcement to help curb this. You know, part of my problem is when does private business come in conflict with doing your job? You know, I know there's council member on your staff right here has made statements, but has never come out to talk to the property owner on our issues that's going on in Social Security Board. So, and I asked for a meeting with you and the police chief, and I was told that you'd get back to me. That hasn't happened. So, there are a lot of issues, and we were told to stand down, take photographs of what's going on, and we're going to do. It's very hostile atmosphere when we're taking pictures of all the wrongdoings going on in the Social Security Bar. I mean, it's hostilities there, and if something doesn't happen soon, probably somebody's going to end up getting hurt. So I'm just asking you, this is a hot issue. You can't just push it off and it's going to go away, because it's not going to go away. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Next is John Hindy.
My name is John Hindy. I'm at 1359 Chetco, just at the north end of town. And I've been here probably several times now asking if council would do something with controlling the sound ordinances that we have. Trucks going through, revving their engines, hot rods, motorcycles, especially the Harleys going through with straight pipes. And they get, 5 or 10 of them together. They rattles the windows, and china in the china cabinet rattles, and you can hear them all through the house. You just can't get past that deep roar that they have. I just went last week up to Woodburn drag racing, and I was measuring what those were. And the straight headers or straight pipes coming out of the engine, hot rods, are producing about 110, 125 decibels. Those motorcycles going through our town are at least that high and sometimes higher. And the thing is there's an ordinance here for 80 decibels. And I offered last year and the year before to buy, decibel reading meters that, they can range anywhere from $50 to $200. And I was willing to buy 4 of them so that the cruisers would have them. And if they hear something that's outrageous, check it, give them a citation. I mean, there's markers at the end of most towns as you drive in that says unmuffled Jake brakes, which are on the big construction vehicles and logger trucks and that sort of thing. It's not allowed. Why can't they put right next to it something that says unmuffled motorcycles and cars will be cited? And even state, 80 decibels. I know some towns have that. And right now with all the electric vehicles that are going on, there's a push in society to try to bring down noise. And we're not even trying to control it. It just seems to be that everybody ignores it. And anything over 80 decibels causes hearing damage of some sort. And right now there's a law that if like a Harley is produced, 80 decibels coming out of the factory. Well, when they get to the dealer, they modify them. They pull everything out of it. So they have a straight pipe because it sounds cool. And you talk to the owners and they say, well, we're just loud and proud. Well, they should be loud and ticketed. That's my feeling. So like I said, for the last couple of years, I've asked if anything can be done or is being done. Has there been any course taken that way that you know of? Or is it just kind of slip by again for another year? Does anybody on the board? No.
Well, like I just said, it's not a back and forth. You got your comment time, but like always, we'll follow up.
Okay.
I have your information. I can reach out to you
Okay.
with a follow-up.
Well, last year I also asked this, I always walk through here and there's always trash. There's trash everywhere along the highway. And 200 pieces I picked up in one day. And today I was walking, it's just as bad. And I don't see any regular sort of pickup of that. And so I know that in a lot of towns, they have it so that if you get a citation for speeding or for, alcohol or whatever, DUI, you're asked to go pick up the highway. And the highways are clean then. Well, we've got thousands of pieces from here to Harris Beach. This is kind of the area I walk, so I know what it's like. There's laundry baskets that have been crushed and they're on the side of the road that have been there for, 6-8 months. And all kinds of other trash. So if something can be done where, I was told the judges have to be directed by the city council. We want that done in terms of enforcing, violators of the vehicle code to help keep the streets clean. So I guess that's all. Is there anything that you need more from me in terms of any information?
Do you need one?
As long as we have your phone number.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Ron Schneerson.
Good evening, Ron Schneerson, 111 Schooner Bay Drive. The first time I spoke at the city council was close to 2 years ago, and I talked about the entry to Chetco Point and specifically the wastewater treatment plant. So I just wanted to come back tonight and say thank you for taking some action there. I noticed the plastic slats in the fence have been installed, and it does make a big difference. And I really do appreciate that you listen to your constituents and take action and make these little improvements that end up, adding up to a big difference. So I just want to get that on the record that I really appreciate you hearing me and actually seeing some results. So I'm very happy to have been part of that, and thank you for your efforts. That's all.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Commissioner Trust.
Mayor, council, thank you. I just wanted to come in, much like Ron, and pay some respects for some actions that were taken over the last week. In particular, what Mr. Cunningham was speaking about, I want to acknowledge City Manager Rundell and Chief McCray for meeting with us, really digging in, discussing some of the issues that were occurring upriver, and then obviously the follow through by Chief McCray by coordinating with OSP, working with them to get some things put in place, or they're going to have some patrols and some overtime approved, and really working to address those issues. I thought that was extremely beneficial and collaborative, and I really appreciated that entire exchange. The other thing that I wanted to thank you for is your commitment to the SRO position. I know recently we have, this is on behalf of the school board and of the county, but we've been, the school district's facing a little bit of financial strain right now. The county was able to pick up that SRO piece that was held by the school district, but make no mess about it. The city of Brookings pulls the majority of the weight financially to ensure that SRO position stays intact and is valued. So I wanted to thank you for your commitment to that as well. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. That is it. If someone turned one in, I did not get it. So that's all of them. Moving on to the consent calendar. This is to approve council minutes for April 14th and receive monthly financial report for March of 2025.
I move to approve the consent calendar.
Second?
Call the question?
Counselor Martin.
Yes.
Counselor Fulton.
Yes.
Counselor Freitas.
Yes.
Counselor Malmberg.
Yes.
Mayor Hodges.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item F, staff reports, public hearings, ordinances, resolutions, and final orders. The first up is the independent audit services contract.
Mayor, council, this agenda report is to recommend a contract for our independent audit services. We issued a request for proposals, distributing solicitations to 51 firms. We also publicly advertised the RFP. In response, we received 3 proposals. I conducted a thorough review of each submission, making sure they met all the requirements of the RFP and doing reference checks and follow-ups with the 3 firms. All 3 responding firms are highly qualified with extensive experience in municipal auditing, and they each submitted very competitive proposals. Key variables include preparation of financial statements, single audit requirements, which we will have for sure for a while now because of the USDA funding and any federal funding that we get. So it's pretty guaranteed we're going to need a single audit each year. Also, the Urban Renewal Agency expenditures are part of this, which we'll talk about in the Urban Renewal meeting. While KDP submitted a proposal, they didn't provide a travel cost, so I kind of put in a minimum. So the numbers you're looking at include like a minimum travel cost they would have, because I did reach back out to them to ask for, and they don't do it that way. They bill separately for travel, where the other 2 don't. So there's a lot of variables when they submit proposals that I have to kind of put on a big spreadsheet and figure it all out, apples to apples. So the proposed cost is on the next page. You can see year 1, 2, and 3 comparisons, as well as the 3-year. And so selecting Sensiba LLP is projected to save the city approximately $22,255 over 3 years compared to the proposal from Moss Adams, who is our current auditor. And any increase in years 2 and 3 are based on CPI, like most everything else we have. So we recommend that you accept the audit services proposal from Sensiba LLP and authorize the city manager to execute a 3-year contract. You could, I'm sure you've seen all the proposals attached. They're pretty extensive.
Any discussion, question?
I just wanted to thank the staff for making that effort and reaching out and providing those proposals for us to review. I know it's not an easy thing to change auditors and come up with new faces and new ways of doing it every year. I know that's not an easy thing, so I just am grateful for that. I thought all the auditors' proposals were really thorough, and I felt very assured knowing the quality of Moss Adams, and that's who's been our auditor for a number of years. So I'm really grateful to know that and know the extent of their experience. I do feel like Sensiba had some things about them where they feel a little more personal, and really seems like they try to work well with staff, which I appreciate too. So.
Yeah, one thing I learned through reaching out to, all the recommendations and everything that coming together and talking to each firm, that, Moss Adams is really big and they're very qualified for anything. And I do feel like we're kind of on the small end of their clients. Where Sensiba is a smaller firm, very qualified. They have enough staff. We didn't send the RFP to anyone who had a staff size smaller than like 30, I think. We had to narrow, there's hundreds of auditors in the state. So we kind of made sure they had enough staff size to be able to do multiple audits. But yeah, I think that, we're going to be more of the mid-range of what Sensiba does instead of on the smaller end. So that'll be interesting.
Any other discussion? I agree with Councilor Paredes said. If you've been through an auditor change, sometimes it's like starting all over again. They don't trust the statements. They want to go to the actual account and just, work it back, which is good for public. We need that. But I know it can be a big headache for your department. But in the end, this adds to our transparency and trust, and that's very important. So thank you.
I have a great staff. They're very good at what they do. So hopefully we'll just get right through it.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to note real fast, I remember the previous audits, and the city's done a great job of keeping clean books and no issues during the audits. So great job, keeping clean records and doing things the right way.
Which actually, according to a report, there's a lot of cities in our state that don't. And so, yeah, it's just to the credit of our staff too and the work that they do. So, yeah, I second that.
Anyone else? Okay, do I have a motion?
I motion to accept the audit service proposal from Sensiba LLP and authorize the city manager to execute a 3-year contract.
I'll second. Call the question.
Counselor Fulton.
Yes.
Counselor Prather.
Yes.
Counselor Malmberg.
Yes.
Counselor Martin.
Yes.
Mayor Hodges.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to F number 2, adoption of an updated master fee schedule.
Mayor, council, again, each year, the master fee schedule is reviewed by staff annually to determine where changes are appropriate, and Brooklyn is a great help in that. She puts it all together and the department heads review it. The most recent master fee schedule was adopted by council on June 27, 2024. The 2025 master fee schedule is attached. It includes a cost of living increase of 2.7, which is the CPIW for February to February, rounded to the nearest dollar on most things. We did increase park use fees a little bit more to account for increased maintenance costs, and our park use fees are, especially at the Capella, are pretty low compared to other places. So we decided to bring those up a little bit more. And then some things aren't increased annually because they're so small that we just wait every few years to increase those. You guys talked about this at the workshop on April 7th, and the consensus was to bring forward the updated schedule to this meeting. And then a reminder that the public safety fee, we're going to increase by more to make up for the school board not being, or the school district not being able to contribute as much. So thank you to the BOC for picking up that, and so we didn't have to do that. So it's only the CPI and it's not the extra 50 cents we talked about. So recommended that you adopt resolution 25R1273 to update the master fee schedule, and repealing resolution 24R1265 effective July 1st, 2025.
Thank you. Again, any discussion, any question?
Just once again, appreciate all the effort that staff put into putting this together. Also appreciate the fact that that the city works really hard to minimize the amount of increase to the absolute minimum necessary. So just following the consumer price index and taking a close look at how we can move money around the most efficient way to minimize the impact to the taxpayers. So really appreciate that.
And I'll just say that it's really great to hear an idea that actually came through, being able to put this piece together, and that we really do listen and we try to incorporate the best ways to do things and to find funds by other entities that can help support our residents. So really happy about that.
Yeah, I just, too, am grateful to the BOC and their willingness to step up and support and fill in that gap there so that it doesn't have to fall to the taxpayers. And yeah, again, the same sentiments. I know that costs have increased for everybody, and I know it's hard, but it hits the city also. In the same way it hits everybody, it hits the city. And so I know it's hard and challenging to try to keep those costs down, but I appreciate the way that our staff works to do that.
Anyone else? Okay, you have a motion?
I motion to adopt resolution 25-R-1273, updating the master fee schedule and repealing resolution 24-R-1265, effective July 1st, 2025.
A second.
Call the question?
Counselor Prather.
Yes.
Counselor Malmberg.
Yes.
Counselor Martin.
Yes.
Counselor Fulton.
Yes.
Mayor Hodges.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. And item F3, annual Yard of the Month program. Is that you, city manager?
Yes.
All right.
The most controversial item on the agenda tonight.
Buckle up.
Buckle up, everybody. Now, this has been an ongoing thing that the city has been doing. We're actually in our 23rd year of recognizing residents and business owners for their beautification efforts through the annual Yard of the Month. Excuse me, the program includes a presentation of awards May through September, 2 categories, best residential and best commercial property. I was fortunate enough, I kind of came in at the tail end. I got here in July, got to go with Brooklyn. We got to present a couple of the commercial properties and residential's really neat thing. And the monthly winners receive a certificate and a $50 rebate toward their city utility bill. And they're recognized with signage and local media coverage and at the council meeting. So we just want to asking tonight to approve the reinstatement of the Yard of the Month program for the 5 months from beginning in May.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Oh, I just wanted to mention, I also had the privilege last year to go and hand out a few of the awards, and it was such a fun experience to see the excitement of both the commercial and the residential property owners and how proud they were of receiving that award and how excited they were to talk about the work that they had done. And it does improve our community as a whole when owners take pride in their place. And so it was a lot of fun to get to be a part of that, and I'm happy to support that again.
Any other discussion or a motion?
I'll move to approve the reinstatement of the Yard of the Month program for 5 months beginning May 2025.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Counselor Mollenberg.
Yes.
Counselor Martin.
Yes.
Counselor Fulton.
Yes.
Counselor Pereira.
Yes.
Mayor Hodges.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item G, remarks from the mayor, councilors, and city manager. And as a reminder, we do have urban renewal after this, directly after this.
I just want to, I was going to thank the city ahead of time because I know we're getting into the summer season and the city staff does a lot of work around here making all these festivals work. We've got Azalea Festival coming up. Really looking forward to that. We've got the concerts in the park and all the things that make our town great in summer that everybody comes out to see us for. So anyway, I'm looking forward to another great summer here on the coast and really appreciate all the work the staff puts into those things.
I definitely want to say thank you to the Public Works for, they went around and yellowed all of the yellow places, and that just makes everything so amazing and just really clear. And it was in front of the school, I was like, yes, that's awesome. So I appreciate them going out and doing that.
I have a couple of comments about Social Security Bar. So I'd encourage the council members that weren't here at the time to review the workshop that we had about 2 years ago on the subject, and also watch the county's workshop on this. But I know the landowners in that area have to deal with people going down there and running their trucks up and down and making other noise. But the council previously, and I support the previous decision, that Social Security Bar is a public gravel bar. The city owns access to that, and I oppose restricting access to that. That's the closest gravel bar for the people who live in the city of Brookings to enjoy the river, to take their dogs down to the river, to run, to go fishing, to go swimming. Year-round access is important. The county proposed a day use fee for that. I'm opposed to that. When Harris Beach proposed a day use fee for people to go for day use activities, even picnicking. There was a huge backlash to that. We don't charge day use fees for Azalea Park or Checo Point Park, and we shouldn't charge a day use fee for Social Security Bar. And this is, it's a public gravel bar. There's a few bad apples that I'm not going to let if for my vote, I'm not going to allow them to ruin it for everybody. I'm glad that OSP, which has a responsibility for patrolling that anyway, because the state gravel bar is going to put more of an emphasis on this, and they should have been all along. If anything, the game wardens are responsible for the wildlife, the waterways, and that gravel bar, and they should have been patrolling this the whole time. And then the sheriff's office also, that's within their jurisdiction. But it's the same as the beaches and Brookings, where the state police are responsible for that. And we should probably reiterate again to the higher ups at the state police that this is an important area to, that there's an issue going on down there, and they need more than just a few patrols. They need to patrol that regularly. But I'm 100% against restricting that access, of gating the city's access to that, or charging a fee. It's a public gravel bar for people to enjoy, and when somebody buys property next to public land, that's one of the issues that they potentially face. So I know that you guys have issues, but it's a public gravel bar, and the public has the right to use it.
And destroy it.
Well, since you said that, you don't have a right to put boulders on a public gravel bar.
Boulder anywhere.
All right.
Well, the property owners that have, I'm not done. The property owners that put boulders to try to block the access where people can't go down there, that's just as bad as the kids that are going down there with their four-wheel drives and running back and forth and making ruts and making noise.
So when we get a survey, it shows that our land is above high means. It is our land.
The Division of State Lands has a map that shows the boundary, and those boulders were placed below that.
All right, this is Counselor's time to remark, so I'm not going to block Counselor Martin's time, but audience, this isn't your time.
Well, again, I would recommend to the other council members to watch the previous workshop on this, listen to the county's workshop, because there's some contradictions. And when the county came to our meeting and said they weren't proposing a day use fee, where the day before at their meeting they said they were. So there was a lengthy workshop on this, and then there was one about 3 years prior to that.
Again, if you have citations, it would stop a lot of time.
Okay.
But not a single citation is ever.
That's why I encourage you to call the state police and the sheriff, because they have the responsibility for patrolling that.
Okay.
You have a county commissioner sitting right here. Talk to him about funding the sheriff's office to provide patrols down there.
The sheriff's office has been funded.
So, Counselor Martin, are you through?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else? I have something to say, but, okay. I want to address, the last couple of weeks and not take up a bunch of time about myself, but I feel like I need to at least address this. As many of you know, I was appointed to county commissioner for a couple of days, so I wanted to speak to that and say it was an honor to be selected as the Curry County Commissioner for their vacant position. Unfortunately, that opportunity presented unforeseen circumstances beyond the public realm. So after careful consideration, I chose to withdraw my name from that as soon as I really could. So I just wanted to put that out there. But I wanted to also state I remain deeply grateful to Brookings City Council, you four dedicated individuals with whom I have the privilege to serve alongside. As I shared during that commissioner selection process, my interest in the county's position was based entirely on the confidence that I have in this council's ability to continue leading the city of Brookings with efficiency, integrity, and effectiveness. I had no hesitation. However, as I continue to focus on city matters and back on them, I can't ignore the growing concerns that extend beyond city limits, some of which we were just having a dialogue about. Brookings, as the population center of Curry County, is directly affected by the decisions and conduct at both the state and specifically the county level. And I would say particularly with the sheriff's office. It is imperative to remember that the sheriff is a public servant, accountable not only to his office, but the people he serves. Yet we continue to face a troubling lack of transparency. Public records requests have gone unanswered, and allegations now that report falsification involving the Marine Board have been met with silence. Apart from sporadic one-sided communications on social media, there's been little effort to engage the public to provide clarity on any of this. This is not about a personal opinion. I don't have one there. It's about public trust. Residents, specifically in this case, our residents in the city of Brookings, deserve a sheriff who addresses concerns openly, responds to inquiries with transparency, and upholds the highest ethical standards. Additionally, Brookings City resources, particularly our police and dispatch team, funded by our city taxpayers, are being stretched to respond to county-level calls without collaboration or accountability from the sheriff's office. It's very rare. This puts our officers in an impossible position and creates confusion in emergency responses that should never be tolerated. It is disheartening when public officials deflect responsibility rather than confront issues head-on. Leadership means being present. It means addressing the public when concerns arise. Our citizens, our law enforcement personnel, our sheriff's department, that work under the sheriff, and our shared future in this county all deserve better. I remain committed to advocating for accountability and responsible governance at every level. That's all I have to say about that. Any more discussion? All right. Then we'll adjourn at 7:36. Moving right along. When you're ready, we're ready, okay? I will call to order the meeting of the Urban Renewal Agency. Roll call.
Director Malberg.
That sounds official. Here.
Director Pereira.
Here.
Director Martin.
Here.
Director Fulton.
Here.
Chair Hodges.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, consent calendar to approve the urban renewal meeting minutes for December 9th, 2024.
I'll move to approve the consent calendar.
I second.
Call the question.
Director Fulton.
Yes.
Director Pereira.
Yes.
Director Malberg.
Yes.
Director Martin.
Yes.
Chair Hodges.
Yes.
The motion carries.
All right, moving on to item D, staff reports. This is for the independent audit service contract.
Chair, directors, remember to say it right that time. So again, when we went out for RFP, it includes the Urban Renewal Agency. So this is to accept the audit services proposal from Sensiba LLP and authorize the city manager to execute a 3-year contract for the Urban Renewal Agency. Pretty much the mirror of the other car, so we tried to split it out so we could cover both. Is there any questions about that? Or?
Not from me. Any questions? Comments?
I'll make a motion to accept the audit services proposal from Sensiba LLP and authorize the city manager to execute a 3-year contract.
A second?
Call the question.
Director Fulton.
Yes.
Director Pereira.
Yes.
Director Malberg.
Yes.
Director Martin.
Yes.
Chair Hodges.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to E, agency remarks.
Have a comment? So, this was going to be my comment during the council portion of this, but I'll make it now. I just want to thank Mayor Hodges and Director Hodges or Chair Hodges for the work that he's done with the city. And we're very fortunate to have Mayor Hodges as our mayor. So I've known Isaac since we were young kids in school and Boy Scouts and sports. And I know Isaac's committed 100% to the city. It was going to be a big loss for us if he left. It would have been a gain for the county Board of Commissioners, but I'm glad that Mayor Hodges is going to continue to serve, and Chair Hodges is going to continue to serve. And, we have a true advocate for the people of Brookings, and somebody who knows the history of our area and the residents, and, the challenges that he's already been a part of overcoming in the last few years. We have the right person sitting in the mayor seat, and we're very fortunate to have him. And I'm glad he's going to continue to serve as mayor.
I think we all feel the same. Thank you for saying it. Yeah, I think that the commissioners have a heavy load, and I was grateful for what you would bring to that table, but I'm super glad we're not losing you. And I do agree with you, though, that what affects our county affects our city, what affects our state affects our city, and we all need to do what we can to be a part of affecting positive direction and change. And that's not just for the ones of us sitting here, it's for our whole community. Like you said, make your voices heard, and it's important in a respectful and productive way to try to work together. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and I spoke with the mayor personally and shared the same sentiments. I think he's doing a great job, and again, it's the city's gain and the county's loss. I sincerely hope that the county rights the ship and takes and moves forward with a new purpose to make the adjustments they need to become a more functional body. But again, it's certainly our gain to have the mayor stay with us. I think he's done a great job. So.
And I will second what you said.
Well, I'm going to crawl under the table now and hide my red face. But thank you. That's very nice of you. And I mean what I said, and I don't want to make this into any more, and not dragging it out. But truly, and I think I told each of you individually when I was planning to transition, I have nothing but pure respect and faith in everyone up here, in your abilities and oversight. And so there was definitely some what's the word? There was a lot of opportunity, I'll put it that way, at the county level, and I wish to a certain part of me that I would have been able to continue on and see how that unfolded. But things happen for a reason, and so here I am, and I'm extremely happy that you guys welcome me back with open arms and have again that mutual respect. So thank you very much, and I too. I don't want anyone to think that my eyes have shifted now all to county affairs. They haven't, but to Councilor Paredes' point, and hopefully my point earlier, is I tried to attach them together. Brookings is a big part of the county, so they are very intertwined. And so whether we like it or not, we have to address both issues sometimes. And I am extremely concerned about the goings on that really, in the whole county, of course, because I've lived here, I've been here my whole life, but also specifically on those pieces that touch our city. As the mayor and all of us as being the representative for the citizens of our city, that piece is a heavy weight right now, because we're really pushing those entities, the main one being our police, in the calls that are going out, and whether they're in the city limits or not, and then making that very difficult decision. Okay, do I respond or not? And that's got to be really hard. But at the same time, our people's taxes go to our city patrol, and we can't use the city money to go outside of that. So again, there is the issue. We really need to pay attention to what's going on in the county. And as a council, I think it is a really difficult part of our job and our leadership role, but it is a part of it to say, hey, as a leader in the county, in this case the sheriff, where are you at? We need some dialogue, we need some discussion, we need some, all I've heard of anything really is barriers. I haven't necessarily heard of options. And then to know that our own police chief goes into an area that really is, and our city manager and our lieutenant goes into an area that really is county/state, besides the entrance, which is city, and works with the state and actually comes to a viable solution. I don't necessarily, I'm glad they did it, but I don't necessarily think that falls in our lap. I think the sheriff and the state could have done that, and of course we willingly do that because these are our friends, these are our family, this is our neighbors, and they need to be safe. But we need, if you're the county sheriff, your responsibility is that county area, and so please have some communication with us. Anyways, anyone else? Okay, well, in that